I am sitting outside. It is turning into summer here, which is so nice. When we get just even a little bit of warm weather, we soak it in like we have been starving of it for months because we have. We've been in winter here in Colorado, and it's morning time, and I'm having my soul time. So, this is what I do every single morning, whether I'm on vacation, whether I'm at an event speaking, whether I'm working, like in my busy seasons, in my relaxed seasons. I do this because I learned many years ago, even when my kids were quite young, that my soul time was paramount, that it structured my day, that it allowed me to tune into my own inner wisdom. I was actually getting insights into business, into parenting, into my world that I wouldn't have had if I wouldn't have quieted my mind and gotten to soul time.
Welcome to the Danette May Show, where you'll receive profound breakthroughs, courage to break old patterns, and live into your soul's purpose. Each week, I will bring you epic guests and live coaching to remind you of your power. You have the ability to achieve extraordinary things, and the time to start is now.
I've done a lot of episodes on this soul time, but I'll talk really quick about it because today I really want to share about my thoughts around female empowerment and the rise of the female empowerment and what I'm seeing because I think this discussion needs to happen. I'm watching just women really deciding to take a hold of their voice. I'm watching women self abandon. I'm watching a lot of different things, and I want to talk about it because I had Raj Jana on the show, and his episode's going to come later today. So you need to listen to both of these. And he talked about, because he to me is a divine masculine. There's very few divine masculines that I really have in my life that I feel like are really embodying their power, their energy as a male, and then also championing and seeing the power of the female. And he does that. And I wanted to hear from him about his thoughts around it and what he really believes encompasses an empowered woman and how this empowered woman actually helps the man rise. And I feel like he nailed it from my perspective. And so I want to speak as a female to female in this episode, and then his will drop later today, where you can hear a male's perspective around the rise of the female, the rise of female empowerment. And what does that even mean? And what does that look like? So I do think it starts with these soul times. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it creative time, morning pages, morning time, my own time. You can call it soul time, whatever you want to call it. But truly, for me, morning's best. You could do it in the evening. You could do it in the afternoon. I just say do it. It's really about setting up the space for me to hear my own inner wisdom. That's all it's about. That's the full intention, to set up some space, quiet time, away from my phone, away from Slack, away from email, away from everyone else's opinions, away from social media, my family's needs, anything. It's just me and my higher power, me with God. And I honestly, a lot of times I'll light a candle or I'll light incense. To me, it's more the representation of transformation. So whether it's a fireplace or a candle, it's really more of the symbolism of alchemizing, because a fire is an alchemizer. It takes any physical matter and transmutes it. So whether it's wood to ash, you can throw your worries into a fire, you can metaphysically, and it transmute it. So for me, it's really about that representation of transmuting. And then it's about me saying, I don't know how this is going to show up. I'm going to do prayer. So I pray. I write my gratitudes. Those are how I start the energy, because when you get into prayer, and prayer being a prayer of gratitude, I pray and say, I'm so grateful for this. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, God, for this. When you get into a state of gratitude, it really shifts your frequency. It makes you an open vessel for communing at a higher level versus praying about, can you help me with this? And then you're focused on your problems. There is a time and place for prayer to ask for help. Absolutely. But this time is really about gratitude. It's about saying thank you for what you already have, even if you're in the challenge, even if you're in the worry, even if you're in the stress. It's still showing up in gratitude for what you do have. And before I even ask for help. So this is what I do. And then I'll journal. Like I said, I'll not only say it out loud or in my mind, I'll also write it out. And I believe this amps up the frequency within me. It's really hard to stay in stress when you're in gratitude. It's really hard to be in a lower vibration of less worthiness within yourself when you're in a state of gratitude. Some of you are moved by music. Now, I've been listening to a lot of Trevor Hall, a lot of Sam Garrett, a lot of Ajit Carr. These type of artists really help stir up your soul. And I'll play a little song here, just a little piece of the chorus of Trevor Hall's new song, Seek and Find. It really dropped me into a heart space. Ajit Carr's, all of her songs dropped me into a heart space. And the new song, One Family from Sam Garrett, really helps too. So I'm name dropping it for you because this is all part of helping stir up the frequency, stir up the energy. That's the intention. And then oftentimes, once the energy's been stirred up, I'm into gratitude. I will then either go into a visualization of what I see for myself. What do I really want to see for myself? Or I'll ask the question in my journal, what would you have me know? And this is just me having this morning pages, or I'll just write and write and let whatever wants to spew out of me come out onto the journal. It might be about what I'm facing. It might be about a dream I had. It might be affirmations to myself about the woman I wanna see for myself. So, this is what I'll do is I'll just have this time, and when I was in the early stages of soul time and I had little kids, sometimes it was 10 minutes, and now that I'm a little bit older and more seasoned into it, my kids are older, and I have more discipline around it, it's oftentimes at least 30 minutes, sometimes an hour if I'm really lucky, because this has felt actually delicious now. It is not a chore, it is like my delicious time to be with me and my own thoughts, my own energy frequency, and me taking power and ownership of my frequency and turning the dial to what I actually desire. This is key, and this has made a difference in every area of my life. My relationship with my spouse, my relationship with my children, my relationship with my coworkers in business, my relationship to God, my relationship to and everything going on in the world. It just has made the biggest difference in my life, and I can't speak to this before I talk about female empowerment because this has made me more in tune to my intuition, which has made me feel more powerful. It's made me love myself more. It's made me feel closer, like I said, to my creator, and so I've really attest to this soul time, and I'm now at the end of my soul time, and now I'm talking to you guys. I'm in this frequency, and I really want to talk about the rise of the divine feminine, the divine parts of ourselves, the feminine that actually is connected to a higher power. You want to call it God, you want to call it source, you want to call it whatever. It's linking and yoking with a higher power. And this is what creates the amplification of an empowered divine feminine is understanding that she's not alone and understanding that there is a higher power at play, understanding that she actually is encoded with the DNA of the greats, understanding that she does not walk alone, that the ancestors of the past who used their voice, who paved the past, who couldn't live the life she lives today. She understands it, she yokes with them, she listens to them, and she moves forward in her power, in her knowing. And in this is not this energy of I need to push down the masculine or I need to push down anyone that I feel oppressed me. Because some of us felt oppressed as a child. Maybe we feel oppressed from our parents. Maybe we feel oppressed from a religion or we felt oppressed by men. An empowered woman understands that all happened and it was alchemy for her to find her true voice, her true power, which lies within herself, and she alchemizes it. And she no longer, in her power, needs to push anyone else down. She invites them to rise with her. And there is a fundamental difference. She doesn't have to fight with other women. She doesn't have to fight for her equality because she's already equal. She just has to embody it, and everyone else around her rises to it. There's no need to fight. When you remember who you are and you remember the sovereignty and you remember the power that already lies within you and you truly remember it and start to embody it, everything externally shifts. The way that men relate with you, the way that a man in co-working business relations work with you, the way friendship and other empowered females relate with you, the way nature relates with you, the way money relates with you, all of it's impacted by this frequency. But the only way to get into this frequency is to have these soul times, to have these morning pages, to have this time with self so that you're not swimming in the rat race of social media and the rat race of what everyone else is doing and how I should feel and how I should be doing life. What is your true essence? And we need more women walking in her true essence, walking in her dangerous aliveness. And I call it dangerous aliveness because it is dangerous. When a woman is alive, it's going to feel dangerous to other people that are not alive because she's sparking something in others that does not feel comfortable. A dangerously alive woman speaks for her needs without yelling, without grappling, without nagging. She speaks it with so much clarity and conviction because she already is it. She's already decided to show up for herself. She doesn't need someone else to show up for her to feel like she finally has validation that she can show up for herself. She becomes it for herself. She shows up for herself. She does the thing that she wants other people to do for her, and she does it for herself. She loves herself the way she wants others to love her. She says no instead of yes. She says yes when she really wants something instead of no. She chooses to say the kind words to herself instead of waiting for other people to say it. She chooses herself instead of waiting for other people to choose her. How often do women wait to be chosen by other women or chosen by the man before they choose themselves? I'm telling you, you have to choose you. You have to start seeing yourself for the beautiful vessel that you are. You have to start to let go of all these ideas that society, the media likes to spin, that you have to have your hair a certain way, that you have to look a certain way, that you have to buy certain things and go on certain vacations to be worthy. That may not be you. You have to start to go, what do I like? Who am I? What do I like to do? What do I like to wear? Do I like makeup or not makeup? Do you, boo? And when you start to really understand yourself, you start to show up differently. You sparkle differently. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, everyone feels your energy miles away. And everyone shifts based off the energy you hold within yourself. Life is a reflection of the love you have for yourself. If you are not happy in your intimate relationship, you don't feel you're validated, you don't feel you're seen, you don't feel like you're heard, you don't feel like you're appreciated, turn it inward and ask yourself, do I appreciate myself? Do I value myself? Do I say no when I really want to say no, or do I say yes? Do I set up healthy boundaries? Do I honor my own word to myself? When I say I'm gonna do something, do I do it? If I wanna go after something, do I go after it? Do I put everyone else in front of me? So ask yourself, flip it back. Where am I self abandoning myself? Instead of blaming everyone or waiting for another woman to value you or waiting for a man to value you, start valuing you. Start getting in relationship with you. This is the greatest work you will ever do, is start to get into relationship with you and yoking with your creator, with God, with a higher power, and knowing that is the only opinion that matters. And trust me, he loves you just as you are. He created you. And I can use he or she, whatever. This is just languaging. It is an energy, and it's an energy of pure love, and it knows you through and through, and it loves you through and through. Doesn't matter your past, it doesn't matter what you think is beautiful or not beautiful, or worthy or not worthy, or successful or not successful. You are loved simply because you exist and because you chose to be on this earth plane. You've already won the game. So go from that energy space. And what I'm noticing is right now there is a shift collectively. Astrologers, people that have watched patterns for a living would tell you that we have not had this astrological sign, this pattern since our evolution for us, everyone listening. We are in a new way and we're feeling it. And I personally feel that we are going to see how it used to be. Like, if you study any ancient culture, whether it's ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, or even ancient Hawaiian ways, the men and women operated in equals. The women were just as valued as men. They ran social economic statuses the same. They were healers, they were channelers, they were considered equals. There wasn't a hierarchy at all. And I believe that our world is wanting to go towards that again. What that does is it makes the woman feel a lot of emotions. The woman today, she can't operate in the old patterns. She has to stop these chains, these patterns where she's oppressing herself, where she is putting down other women, where she's waiting for the validation of men, where she's grappling with her own understanding of her power. And I believe this is what's happening. And so women are feeling really called to share their voice, to share their opinion on things, whether it's in just these relationships where you're like, you know what, I never shared my opinion. I stayed quiet. I'm going to show up and share it. Maybe you're feeling that. Or you're like, you know what, these friendships that did serve me are not serving me anymore. You know what? Putting an end to this. These male relationships I've had, or this grappling for male attention, or giving away my body when I really don't want to give it away, or I think I have to give it away. All of this is coming to light so that you can stop these patterns. Because the divine masculine desires a divine feminine. And you deserve the divine masculine, but let me tell you, you have to embody the divine feminine in you before you ever get to claim the divine masculine. And trust me, he will be lured to you. He will be pulled towards you. And if you are already in relationship, he will rise up in witness of your energy shifts. I've watched it in my own relationship. My husband, Craig, could talk to it. Men truly govern their whole life around the female. We have forgotten that we actually hold the power. We hold the sacred power. I call it sacred power because it should be used in humility. It should be used in sacredness. It shouldn't be just tossed around and used to manipulate because we do hold the power. And these men will rise up when they feel it from us, but we have to embody it first. Some of your relationships will change when you start to embody this, your female relationships and your male relationships. Your intimate partner will rise up to this, but let me tell you, you don't have to scream and shout. You don't have to tell, you can share what you desire in a calm way. And when you start to embody it, he will start to show up as you share what you need in a calm, loving, empowered space. And when you start to embody it and love yourself more, he will shift. You will see this. He will either shift up or he will shift out. It happens time and time again. And this is daily work. This isn't going to happen overnight. This is you getting into daily practice with yourself. Start to own their voice, to say, no more. I am not letting anyone into my womb space. You do not get to enter this sacred portal between my legs. No, this is sacred codes. This is a sacred portal. You do not get to come into this zone unless you're my divine match, unless you honor me. But I have to honor myself first, and then I will be in that frequency to honor you. And some of us just need to go back into healing. We need to do some womb healing. We need to do some empowerment healing. We need to reclaim ourselves, heal ourselves before we allow this energy coming into us, right? And we don't just give it to anyone because they're not worthy of it. You are so beyond powerful and worthy and hold so much significant codes. That is why men are lured to the woman because we are code holders. And when I say code holders, we can alchemize, we can heal people through our sexual energy. We can heal ourselves, we can heal the partner, we can alchemize, we can create together. Obviously, we create children and we come together in this magnificent creation of children. We are creators together, but this is a sacred portal. When we start to own that, it changes everything. Okay. Whew, I'm feeling the fire, guys. I'm feeling the fire. Are you feeling that? I also have dear girlfriends that are still self abandoning themselves in these relationships with their lovers, where if their lover doesn't want something, they say, okay, they're uncomfortable with this. So I'll just pivot and sway and not really own what I actually desire because I don't want to cause any disruption. I don't want to rock the boat. So I'm just not going to say anything and it's not a big deal. I'll let him have his way. I want to tiptoe around having this difficult conversation because I don't want there to be a fight. And honestly, he's going to take it wrong. And I know it's just his wounding and it's just my wounding. I'm like, stop. You get to be you and they get to be them. But you just saying, "Oh, I don't wanna cause problems. I'm not gonna speak up. I'm not gonna honor what I actually want." because I don't want to make them uncomfortable, or I don't want to make them feel bad, or I don't want to simply start a fight is no way to be anymore. You have to speak who you are and what you need firmly and lovingly. And if they throw a tissy fit, if they get upset, that's on them. You have no control over it. But you not standing up for what you really want in the small things and the big things, it is going to catch up with you, and you're going to feel an imbalance and a misalignment inside of your system, and a deep resentment will start to form between this romantic relationship. Women have learned from the eons of time to quiet their voice, to not upset the male, not to rock the boat, to say yes when you really want to say no, to button up your emotions before walking into a scenario because you need to hold it together. Those times are over. It is time to remember you hold the codes, you hold the power in your loving humbleness. Come back to yourself. Breathe into yourself. Start to get to know yourself. What did you love as a child? Start to do your journaling. Do your morning soul time. Do your evening soul time. Say no when you want to say no. Say yes when you want to say yes. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it makes other people around you uncomfortable, really start to play with what do you want and what is the most honoring and loving thing you can do for you right now. If other people are upset, they're upset. You cannot control other people's reactions to you rising into your highest power, you rising into deep self love, listening to your intuition, honoring it step by step. You are not alone on this journey. And as you do this, trust me, it might feel a little bumpy at the beginning, but it will get clearer, it will get cleaner, and relationships around you will shift and it will be even more magnetic, even more powerful. I want to say something. I was going to do it in a separate podcast, but I feel called to share it because this is my platform. I have a lot of women writing me right now. Maybe some women are thinking it, but not writing it. So I talk about manifesting. You'll maybe see me using incense like kapal that came from the Mayans, right? You might see certain languaging that I might use, and I'll get people writing me and saying, manifesting's not of God. And I'm like, I never said that I'm moving out God. I'm done with this conversation and this separation around religion and spirituality. I obviously grew up very religious, and I love a lot of the framework I learned in my religion. And I believe in a lot of the same things that my religion believes in, and a lot of religions believe in. And I also will dabble with oracle, and I will dabble with different cultures and understanding how they think and feel, even if they don't use the word God, whether it's Hindu, Muslim, Jewish, Christian, all these terms. I love learning about it all, and I love experiencing it all. And I also love the frequency of this energy of creation, which we're labeling manifesting. And I understand these words like God and manifesting and creation, and I don't know, there's a million other words, all have different connotations depending on the listener and whatever experience you had with it and whatever conditionings you're getting. So if someone tells you the word manifesting is not of God, of course you're going to come at me and say, Danette, you're out of line. There's only one God and one thing, and you're out of line to talk about manifesting. Obviously, God is the ultimate creator. He created all of us, created everything, in my opinion. Granted, you might not believe that, and that's fair enough. Great. And me creating and me manifesting, I feel like I'm yoking with God in that. So I want to speak to that because I'm going to take back my power from women that are trying to tell me that I can't believe in God and use the word manifest, or I can't believe in God and burn kapal, or I can't believe in God and go and learn from a lot of indigenous healers around the world and experience their traditions. This is the stuff that gets us separated, in my opinion. And I'm going to own my feminine power to say that I'm choosing love. I'm choosing curiosity. I'm choosing to look at God in everything, even the person that does the absolute cruelest thing in my heart or in my mind. I've had to face off with my past, with my ex doing really horrible things to my children. And I have chosen through the yoking of God to love him, to choose love, to choose forgiveness. So I'm saying I am choosing to look at all of life from everything to the things that you want to deem evil or not of God. I'm choosing to look at it. Doesn't mean I practice it. And by the way, all the guests that I bring on this show does not mean I agree with them or I practice like them or I worship like them. I don't have to have someone in my life that I learn from that agrees with everything that I do. I am curious about other ways of thinking. I think it's healthy to be curious, to try to see life through other people's eyes, to choose love even if it looks different than you. And that is what I do on the Danette May Show. I will bring many guests on, guaranteed, that think differently than me, that act different than me, that show up differently than me, that worship differently than me, because I'm curious. Because I'm curious and I'm here to open up a conversation. I'm here to open up different ways of thinking. I'm not here to just be in my own silo of my own way of being on this earth plane. To me, that helps me solidify even more, what does Danette May believe in? When I watch other people doing life differently, it lets me go, oh, what do I believe in? What feels true for me as I still love them and theirs? This to me is an empowered divine female, not putting anyone down, not saying she's right, you're wrong. I'm here to learn. I'm here to love. I'm here to evolve. I'm here to get clear on my hell yes and my hell no and my truth, and a little more finding fragments of who I am through people all around the world in different shapes, sizes, looks, feels, worships, all of it. Because the truth is, we're one another, in my opinion. Of course, all of this is my opinion, and you have your opinion, and that's beautiful. And I love having you on this ride, and I'm cheering you on, and I want to do this rise with you. I want to bring thousands and thousands of women together in one space where we get to grow and evolve and have women conversations and break the shackles and break the chains of oppression through the years. We talk about oppression in a lot of different ways in different demographics around the world, and there is a lot of that. But one form of oppression that's been happening for hundreds and thousands of years is the oppression of women. And it's time for us to release these old patterns. That was then, this is now. How do I show up now? How do I love myself more now? I love you all so much. You guys, Raj Jana's episode is dropping later today, where we get a Mill's perspective on all this. It's going to really impact you. I know it will. Go ahead and click that follow button, and it will notify you when we drop the second portion. I can't wait to see you on the next episode with Raj Jana. I love you guys so much.